In the year 2525, the Milky Way was a battlefield. The Galactic Federation, a coalition of human colonies and alien civilizations, was at war with the Marauder Empire, a ruthless alien race bent on galactic domination. At the heart of the Federation's defense was the starship Invictus, a behemoth of steel and plasma engines, armed with state-of-the-art weaponry and shielded by near impenetrable energy barriers. Commanding the Invictus was Captain Zephyr Hawke, a seasoned veteran of interstellar warfare, known for his strategic brilliance and unyielding courage. The Invictus was more than just a starship. It was a symbol of the Federation's resolve, a beacon of hope in the dark expanse of space. Its crew, a diverse mix of humans and aliens, were not just soldiers, but also defenders of peace and freedom. The war had brought them to Orion's belt, a strategic location teeming with cosmic energy, making it a valuable asset for both the Federation and the Marauders. The Battle of Orion's Belt was about to begin, a battle that would determine the fate of the galaxy. As the Invictus approached Orion's Belt, the tension was palpable. The crew, battle-hardened and resolute, prepared for the impending conflict. The hum of the engines, the glow of the control panels, and the anticipation of battle filled the air. Captain Hawke stood on the bridge, his gaze fixed on the star-studded expanse before him. His heart pounded in his chest, not with fear, but with determination. He knew what was at stake, and he was ready to lead his crew into battle. The first wave of Marauder ships appeared on the radar, their sleek, predatory designs, a stark contrast to the robust and imposing form of the Invictus. They moved with a deadly grace, their formations a testament to their ruthless efficiency. Captain Hawke gave the order, and the Invictus sprang into action. Plasma turrets fired, their bright arcs of energy streaking across space, meeting the Marauder ships in a symphony of destruction. The Marauders retaliated, their energy cannons unleashing a barrage of fire on the Invictus. The battle had begun. The Invictus shuddered as the Marauders' energy cannons found their mark. The ship's shields flickered, but held firm, the energy barriers absorbing the brunt of the attack. Inside, the crew worked tirelessly, their hands moving over control panels as they maneuvered the ship, fired weapons, and maintained the shields. Captain Hawke, his eyes glued to the view screen, issued orders with a calm and steady voice. His mind was a whirlwind of strategies and counter-strategies, his years of experience guiding him through the chaos of battle. The Invictus retaliated, its plasma turrets unleashing a barrage of fire that lit up the darkness of space. Marauder ships exploded into brilliant balls of fire, their debris scattering across the battlefield. But for every Marauder ship they destroyed, two more took its place. The battle raged on, the space around Orion's belt becoming a deadly dance of starships and firepower. The Invictus, despite being outnumbered, held its ground, its crew fighting with a determination that echoed their captain's resolve. In the midst of the battle, a new threat emerged. A Marauder dreadnought, a monstrous ship known for its destructive power, entered the battlefield. Its arrival sent a wave of dread through the Invictus, its imposing form a grim reminder of the Marauders' might. Captain Hawke, recognizing the threat, ordered a full assault on the dreadnought. The Invictus, its engines roaring, charged towards the enemy ship, its plasma turrets firing relentlessly. The dreadnought retaliated, its energy cannons unleashing a barrage of fire that rocked the Invictus. The Invictus's shields flickered under the onslaught, the energy barriers straining under the relentless attack. Inside, the crew worked frantically, their hands flying over control panels as they struggled to maintain the shields and return fire. Despite the odds, the Invictus pressed on, its determination unwavering. The ship, battered but unbroken, continued its assault, its plasma turrets leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. As the battle raged on, Captain Hawke remained steadfast, his gaze fixed on the view screen, his mind focused on the task at hand. He knew that the fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, and he was determined to lead his crew to victory. The Battle of Orion's Belt was far from over, and the Invictus, under Captain Hawke's command, was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. The battle raged on, the space around Orion's belt filled with the chaos of war. The Invictus, despite the odds, continued its relentless assault on the Marauder dreadnought. Each blast from the Invictus's plasma turrets was met with a barrage of fire from the dreadnought. The two behemoths locked in a deadly dance. Inside the Invictus, the crew worked tirelessly, their focus unwavering despite the chaos around them. Engineers worked to keep the shields up, their hands flying over control panels as they rerouted power and patched up systems. Gunners aimed and fired the plasma turrets, their eyes glued to their targets. Captain Hawke, his gaze fixed on the view screen, guided his crew through the battle. His voice, calm and steady, echoed through the bridge, his orders cutting through the noise of alarms and the hum of the engines. The dreadnought, relentless in its assault, managed to land a hit on the Invictus's starboard side. The ship shuddered, the lights flickering as the shields strained to absorb the impact. But the Invictus held firm, its robust design and the determination of its crew keeping it in the fight. Despite the damage, the Invictus pressed on, its plasma turrets firing relentlessly at the dreadnought. Each hit was a small victory, a testament to the crew's skill and determination. In the midst of the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. The Federation's reinforcements, a fleet of starships from neighboring star systems, arrived. Their arrival turned the tide of the battle, their combined firepower overwhelming the Marauder forces. With the reinforcements holding off the Marauder fleet, the Invictus focused its attention on the dreadnought. The ship, its engines roaring, charged towards the enemy ship, its plasma turrets firing with renewed vigor. The dreadnought, under the relentless assault, began to falter. Its shields flickered and failed, its hull damaged by the continuous barrage, and with a final resounding blast from the Invictus's plasma turrets, the dreadnought exploded, its debris scattering across the battlefield. The destruction of the dreadnought marked a turning point in the Battle of Orion's Belt. The Marauder forces, their flagship destroyed, began to retreat, their morale shattered. The Federation forces, led by the Invictus, pursued them, their victory within reach. The Federation forces, their spirits lifted by the destruction of the dreadnought, pressed their advantage. Starships darted across the battlefield, their weapons lighting up the darkness of space. The Marauders, their formation broken, scrambled to retreat, their once formidable fleet now in disarray. On the Invictus, the crew cheered as they watched the Marauders retreat. But Captain Hawke, while relieved, knew better than to celebrate prematurely. The Marauders were known for their cunning, and he wouldn't put it past them to have a trick up their sleeve. His suspicions were confirmed when a squadron of Marauder fighters broke off from the retreating fleet and launched a counterattack. They were small and nimble, their speed and agility making them a stark contrast to the hulking dreadnought. The Invictus, despite its size and firepower, struggled to keep up with the agile fighters. They darted around the starship, their energy cannons peppering the Invictus's shields. The ship shuddered under the onslaught, the shields flickering as they strained to absorb the impact. Inside, the crew worked frantically to repel the attack. Gunners fired the plasma turrets, their shots lighting up the darkness of space. Engineers worked to keep the shields up, their hands flying over control panels as they rerouted power and patched up systems. Despite the chaos, Captain Hawke remained calm, his steady voice guiding his crew through the battle. He knew that they had to hold off the fighters until the rest of the Federation fleet could regroup and come to their aid. The battle raged on, the space around the Invictus filled with the chaos of war. But despite the odds, the crew of the Invictus held their ground, their determination unwavering. Finally, the Federation fleet regrouped and came to the Invictus's aid. Starships swooped in, their weapons firing at the Marauder fighters. Caught off guard, the fighters were quickly overwhelmed, their counterattack faltering. With the Federation forces closing in, the remaining Marauder fighters retreated, their counterattack thwarted. The Federation fleet, led by the Invictus, had held their ground, their victory a testament to their courage and determination. As the dust settled, the crew of the Invictus cheered, their relief and joy echoing through the ship. They had faced the Marauders and had come out victorious. They had defended Orion's belt, ensuring the safety of the Federation. In the aftermath of the battle, the Invictus and the rest of the Federation fleet set about repairing their ships and tending to their wounded. The space around Orion's belt, once a battlefield, was now a testament to their victory. The debris of Marauder ships a grim reminder of the cost of war. Captain Hawke, standing on the bridge of the Invictus, couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. His crew, a diverse group of humans and aliens, had stood together in the face of adversity. They had defended their home, their unity a beacon of hope in the dark expanse of space. But even as they celebrated their victory, Captain Hawke knew that their war was far from over. The Marauders, despite their defeat, were still a threat. They would regroup, rebuild, and they would return. And when they did, the Federation would be ready. In the days that followed, the Invictus and the rest of the Federation fleet returned to their respective star systems. They were hailed as heroes, their victory a beacon of hope in a time of war. But for Captain Hawke and his crew, they were just doing their duty, defending their home against those who would threaten it. As the Invictus journeyed back to Earth, Captain Hawke couldn't help but reflect on their journey. They had faced the Marauders, had stood on the front lines of a galactic war, and had come out victorious. They had shown the galaxy the strength of the Federation, the unity of its people, and the courage of its defenders. But more than that, they had shown that in the face of adversity, in the face of overwhelming odds, they would stand together. They would fight, not just for their home, but for peace, for freedom, and for the future of the galaxy. And as the Invictus journeyed through the star-studded expanse of space, its course set for Earth, Captain Hawke knew that they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, ready to defend their home, and ready to fight for the future of the galaxy. For they were the crew of the Invictus, the defenders of the Federation, and they were ready to face whatever the galaxy threw at them.